Okay, step one, we go live. Step two, I'm going to go over to YouTube to tweet out the link. Tweet out the link. Tweet out the link. Tweet out the link for you. There you go. There you go. Boom. There you go. Okay, so then I'll close that. Okay. Okay. Okay, Jonaside is here with us and says, "Hey, how you doing, Jonaside baby?" As far as I could tell, first in the live chat, followed quickly by Cindy Armstrong. We say hello to Cindy Armstrong, grabbing that silver medal for YouTube. And we've got Jonaside giving us a powerful Blueberry Wolf Bridge and locking down that gold medal on Twitch as well. Gone are the days of Periscope. Gone are the days of Periscope, so we really only can monitor the live chat from two destinations, that being YouTube and Twitch. We're also on D Live. If I'm going to do anything with that D Live account, I guess I'm going to have to go solo over there sometimes because the D Live chat doesn't aggregate over here, and it's always such a pain in the ass, and it's usually not worth it for me to keep the D Live open just to see Reamsey, go over there to prove a point about his loyalty to D Live. I kid. Anyway, Blueberry Wolf Bridge indeed. But Twitch is heating up because we have Mario Heat over there under one of his many assumed aliases. MSM, huge Rachel Maddow fan. C91 says, "Sup CW? What's up? Sup CW? Got the Wuhan Dragon. Been dealing with it since last week. Way better now, though. Blessings." Well, we're glad to hear you're feeling better. Sorry to hear you got sick. Good to know that even under the weather, you can still manage to grab that silver medal over. You can still manage to excel at the Olympic sport of commenting on YouTube or on Twitch. We have Jilly Beans got the bronze over on YouTube. So we already have it's funny. Okay. There you go. Okay, so here we go. So good a time as any to, I'll say hello. Well, we said hello. I never know whether to belabor the point to hang out and wait to start talking because people come late. But then at the same time, we want to maximize engagement and have the video be of service or of use to people. So we don't want to have too much hemming and hawing. We have Reamsey's here with us on YouTube as well. That's beautiful. There you go. Okay, so here's the story. We have set up and established a pattern over the last couple of weeks. I guess we're going on maybe a month and a half now. I don't know. I haven't been keeping really track. I'm Earthling is here with us as well in the live chat. Say hello to you. We've established a pattern over a little while, working with the William S. Burroughs inspired cut-ups. I say William S. Burroughs inspired cut-ups because I'm particularly interested in where we've been coming at it, is the cut-up technique is the physical, the random rearrangement of words on the page, or at least that was what it was back in the old school. Some people engaged in the random aleatoric or, experimental non-predictive generating of poetry in this way or words in this way from an artistic perspective, a purely artistic avant-garde perspective. William S. Burroughs obviously had a literary bent to it, but as a practicing magician, he is on the record as stating his belief that the cut-up technique could yield to divinatory results. And like many of his thoughts, theories, ideas, it had inspiration for and influence upon later generations of people. We've touched upon William Burroughs' influence upon later magic and esoteric practitioners, chaos magicians, his influence on industrial culture, punk culture, et cetera, et cetera. Um, so we've been looking at the cut ups and we've been utilizing the cut ups and we've been experimenting. Just like my experimentations with tarot cards, I make no assumptions about the actual and the presence of any actual supernatural force at work or any sort of metaphysical presence or energy at work. You know, when utilizing these devices, Ouija boards, tarot cards, cut ups, whatever. I do marvel at the results though, but I don't know why it works. I don't know if it's working just as a form of hypnosis on the brain, a form of self hypnosis, a form of self delusion, the power of magical thinking that we better be careful doesn't get away from us, or if there's something else going on. So I enter this space and I invite you to come with me, in the realm of and in the from the position of experimentation. Does this work? Do these yield divinatory results? And we've had some fun, and some weeks have been more exciting than others, but we've pressed on. And the concept of pressing on leads me to the central story tonight. It's an interesting one, I think, and it involves this week's cut up because this week's cut up, quite frankly, almost didn't happen. We've been doing the cut ups for a while, and we had developed a pattern. We would meet in the Patreon exclusive live stream that I do weekly. And there, a couple of people who support me on Patreon and me would joke around, talk, discuss, contemplate the cut up, the generating of a cut up. And it's very simple. We take sources from the web, we take text sourced from the web. We find websites and we copy and paste portions of the text into one of these online cut up generators. And there are many. William S. Burroughs' cut up technique was very famous, inspired a lot of people. A lot of people worked with the technique to generate lyrics over time and stuff. David Bowie utilized the cut up technique extensively on his reintroduction to the world of Brian Eno when they did their collaborative record Outside. Well, it's a David Bowie record, but it was produced by Brian Eno in the spirit of their earlier 3-part Berlin, triptych, Low, Lodger, and Heroes. And I got those out of order. I apologize, but it's funny. We got to look at the nostalgia loop because I guarantee you, yeah, because those records all came out in the late 1970s, and Outside came back Outside came out in 95 or 96. I think it was 95. So that would have been right on the 20-year nostalgia loop itself. Anyway, we get together. The nostalgia loop is a discussion for another video, perchance. So we get together in the Patreon live stream and we discuss the generating of the cut up, and then we present the cut up to the larger YouTube community during the week, usually on the next stream, which is Monday or Tuesday. And we ask the question, will this yield divinatory results for the week? Will this happen? And we would look back, and I would look back, and we would go, and various people would be interested in the experiments. And so it goes. For the first time this weekend, I showed up to the Patreon stream, and I was very honest, and I said, folks, I could give a flying rat's ass about doing a cut up this week. I feel overburdened by the whole process, the obligation, the looking at the thing, the trying to figure out making it work or making it fit. I feel like I'm losing my mind sometimes. It's nuts. I'm going to take a break. We got to take a break, or we're going to go down to make the cut up for every 2 weeks rather than every week or whatever. Anyway, as is often the case, talking through it and talking about it, you realize there's no real big deal. There's no real problem. Generating the cut up, finding bits of text around the internet and throwing them into an online program and hitting go. It's not backbreaking. So, talking through it, I got over my ambivalence. And I said, okay, well, we'll do it simply. So we did it simply. We got it very sweet, very short, and we did it. And in the process of doing it, we discovered something very interesting. One of the things that I like to do, because this is a technique inspired by and taken from William S. Burroughs, I have liked the idea of making sure that we put some William S. Burroughs into the mix as a kind of metaphysical catalyst or energetic um, ignition or combustion agent. Understand it artistically, understand it metaphorically, understand it magically, understand it as you will. And in so doing, we stumbled upon an interesting fact. We did the cut up yesterday on the 6th, on February 6th. So we had looking for a little bit of William S. Burroughs to put in the mix. I do the standard Google search. And I go look for William S. Burroughs. And I notice something. It's his birthday. His birthday is February 5th, 1914. I said, of course, we recorded our cut ups on February 6th. So what we realized was we had inadvertently almost decided to stop the cut up experiments on William S. Burroughs' 108th birthday, or what would have been his 108th birthday if he had lived past 1997, 1997 being 25 years ago, 25-year nostalgia loop. William S. Burroughs, we find our use of his cut-up technique is on the loop. All tributaries and rivers will lead together. And this may have been why I was a little bit ambivalent about doing the cut-ups, because we are now getting to the space. If you keep on doing something, it will come to take on a meaning. You're first taught a mantra by a guru. The syllables are nonsensical. You need to have them written down. You pronounce them phonetically. You stumble upon each individual phrase and accent. But before you know it, it is committed to memory. And the endless flow and repetition can happen at such a level and so subconsciously that a hypnotic effect is, and the trance effect occurs. Things change over time when you work it. You first start reading tarot cards and it's, I consult the book. What? Consult the book. Maybe it means that he'll break up with you? Whatever. But time, and you start to associate the individual cards and individual decks with individual moments and times and stories, and the mystical and the magical starts to come up, and you say to yourself, especially if you're someone like me who's desperately trying to hold on to the rational world, what's happening and what's going on here? A beautiful, exciting place to be, a scary place to be, potentially. And remember, one of the things I always like to say when it comes to these practices, mysticism, magic, the occult, I am a rationalist. I believe that this stuff works at the level of psychology and the level of perception. And that's not to say that it isn't real, because it is only perception that we will ever know. There is no experience that we will not have experienced. We can conceptualize the tree falling in the forest with no one to hear it, but we can't ever observe it, because to observe it is to destroy the thing, right? If a tree falls in the forest, there's no one to hear it, doesn't make it sound. If there's someone to hear it, to observe that it has fallen, the experiment is nullified because there is someone there to hear it. Anyway, not to get too far into the philosophical. So I said to myself, I said, thank our lucky stars that it turns out that we muscled through and kept on go and kept and went to the gym this weekend when it was going to be the first weekend we didn't go and do the cut up because we almost skipped on his birthday weekend, whatever. So his birthday would have been Saturday, would have been his 108th birthday. So a lot of interesting things happening. So we did the cut up, and so we have the cut up to share with you for this week. In fact, you can find it in the description box below this video. It's there, as well as the repeated lines. The programs that we use can also echo repeat lines within the context of the cut up. We've found that these repeated lines by themselves often seem to have their own little meaning, and oftentimes are also just easier to work with because it's a smaller amount of data. You know, what we're essentially saying is that if we look at the cut up, which is by the fact that it's randomly rearranged words, right, given text, randomly cut up and rearranged by a computer without any regard to English grammatical rules or sentence structure, the theory is that we're going to take this semi-unintelligible word salad and potentially see that it predicts future events. What can I tell you? That's the theory. We also say hello to the elephant in the room that has joined the live chat. We also say hello to Tim Fry. I also see Super Panda Bear 123, aka Paul Haverkamp is here. You need a longer name, buddy. I keep on telling you. We have Jonathan Nilgi is here with us. We have Benson Gills as well. No relation. There you go. Okay, so here we go. All right. Yeah, there you go. Genocide. Oh, shitty. Would we have felt if we skipped this week's? Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the way I felt about it. I thought, thank God, because it would have been a bummer to be like, oh man, and we whiffed on his birthday, man. So in the moment when we discovered that, and doing the cut up and doing the thing, and we will welcome William Burroughs. William Burroughs, if your spirit is out there, if your spirit is still maintained on any sort of physical or metaphysical or astral plane, and it is, if it be your desire to participate in these cut up shenanigans, we invite you. The technique was yours. It inspired many generations since you, and well, we're fucking around with it too. If you're around and want to get involved, and happy birthday. We pulled the tarot card, not for him, because we don't have the permission of him to read a card for him, but we pulled the card and offered it to him. The Four of Discs, power, from the Thoth Tarot deck, that we thought was quite appropriate. Well, that's the story. And I feel like there were some other things too that was going on with the date. I can't really recall or remember. Oh, there is something interesting too as well. That we'll get to when we get to the cut up in a moment. So I mean, all I'll do is I'll read the cut up for you, and then I'll read the repeated lines, and you can tell me if you see anything immediately or anything comes to your mind. Jonathan Milgie says, "Poor WSB." Well, don't. We got it. The son of a bitch got his birthday present. To the degree that our birthday present would have been any interest in. All right, so here we go. You guys ready? Here we go. Here's the cut up. Okay. Cool. It I am audience is Magic Box. There's been cut up the Patreon, and the cut up is lame. Anyone is and other paying attention. Other paying attention. In Mexico, the first in the to work countries, because trust paid income. So he lived him an up experiment, YouTube audience luxury, then live there churned out live. Redo, see if repeat it, of painting true joy, the regular, you can't something really a classified United States. Watch this. A regular, wholesome about Doc, and in more he did not have a family, tells me he could job sometimes. Here are the repeated lines by themselves. Other paying attention, churned out live, if repeated, classified United States, he could job. Does anyone have any initial impressions? And if you don't, it's okay. Now, there's stuff here this is the great thing about these cut-ups, and I think the reason that they're attractive to people is that there often is this tantalizing way in which the lack of proper grammatical structure allows the reader, rather than having a sentence that is like a nerd on the page describing a thing like this. Okay, the house was red, right? House, descriptor, color. But it's there. The house was red. If you know and comprehend what those words mean, then the sentence comes into place and it exists. But there's not a lot of nuance or ambiguity about it. In fact, there's nothing ambiguous about it. It's a direct, specific statement. Whereas sometimes we get these phrases in the cut-ups where the reader's there and allowed to kind of, is it this or is it that? In Mexico, the first in the to work countries. What does it mean to be a to work country? Because trust paid income. When I saw that line about Mexico and the first to work countries and trust paid income, I thought to myself immediately about American economic concerns with, Mexican manufacturing jobs and all that stuff, and something about that. So he lived him an up experiment, YouTube audience luxury, then lived there, churned out live, redo, see if repeat it, Crazy mixed up stuff, no pun intended. Jonaside says he could job if pro wrestling job means to lose. Yeah, the jobber is the guy that's there, the kind of the dime a dozen extra guys just working their way up who are there just to be the adversaries or the quick cut through guys, enemies for the Hulk Hogan's and the big guys, right? Here's Reamsey making an observation. I like the part about painting with joy. I like the joy of painting. If a happy little tree falls in the forest, it makes a noise, probably. A lot of things. There you go. Mario Heat says, sounds like the biography of Mario Heat. It does, right? Actually, we have Alon with us. We say hello to Alon from Israel. Hello, Alon. There you go. Jonathan gives us, I see that you're working hard on the cut-ups, but is anyone paying attention? I see this projected very much on you and what you're doing with this cut-up stuff, ? Well, but if I read, so the first thing makes sense as a question. You may have put the question marks at the back end accidentally, and I'll tell you why. Let's read it. I see that you're working hard on the cut-ups, but is anyone paying attention? Very good question. And we see that that's in the cut-up. I see this projected very much on you and what you're doing with this cut-up stuff, ? I don't know. We thought about that. We talked about when we were doing the cut-ups and when I was talking about not doing the cut-ups, maybe this will be the last cut-up because we did it for his birthday, and then maybe we can say goodbye or just for a moment take a break, because it does seem, and I talked about it being like the death of my channel. Meanwhile, this channel, I gotta tell you folks, if the current incarnation of this CW Chanter channel, CW Chanter is never going to go away until I die, right? I'm never going to go away and stop CW chanting and chantering until I'm dead in the ground, right? But this channel with its 5,000 subscribers, all that bullshit, I'm telling you, a year and a half, 2 years, this thing's gonna be gone. It's just not. It's silly. There's no point. The internet is the ever present now. We catalog and we keep and we save all of this stuff. Every day there's millions of people generating data, audiovisual content, art, music, stuff, beautiful things worth seeing, worth experiencing, worth listening to, stories worth being told. Who's got time to return to CW Chanter recorded 10 hours of audio commentary in the second week of December 2018? It's just, you know what I mean? It's just like I just don't see the point anymore. But it is, and I just it's burdensome too. It's like I want to be rid of this. Reemsy says, I think you should start making urban exploration videos. That suggestion is either because you like urban exploration videos, you want to see me get lost, or you're going to kidnap me or something. What are you gonna... No, I'm teasing you. Hey, look, there you go. There you go. You know, that's awesome. The Elfin Room says, I ordered a Korg Electribe EM1X on Saturday from Japan. It'll arrive in 2 weeks, and I'm incredibly excited. The equipment we know how to use is absolutely invaluable. Right? And I remember from our old school discussions back in the day, I believe that you worked with the Electribes extensively. I was a Roland guy. I was doing the MC303 MIDI sync to the MC505 thing. But I know a whole bunch of cats and kittens used to go the Korg Electribe route as well. And I can probably tell you that there's probably benefits to that as well. So there you go. But I'm glad to hear that. Mario says, what is a Blueberry Wolf Bridge? What is a Blueberry Wolf Bridge? We've contemplated that, Mario, on many occasions, and many offers have been made as to possible answers, though it may be said that no answer can be the one. But cards in hand, Mario poses a question for the community. What is a Blueberry Wolf Bridge? Oh, cards. What is a Blueberry Wolf Bridge? 9 of Wands. Strength. Especially in this card, we see the thing about 9. Right? It's a really even odd number. And I love 9. 9 months to make a little baby. Associated with the moon, with ladies. I love 9. And not 9 of Wands, the suit of Wands, the suit of that great flame of life that seems to emanate throughout the center, from the center of the universe outwards, that seems to naturally say to us, even though we haven't seemed to have seen any evidence of life elsewhere in the universe, there seems to be something so natural about life on this planet that it lets us know that if the conditions exist in this universe for life to exist here, then most likely the conditions exist for the life to be elsewhere. But how does that life get there? Now, I don't know if these old, ancient explanations are true. Some say that our ancestors were closer in time to the truth, therefore they may have had a better handle on the truth. And some people say that they were probably more ignorant, that our inspiration and our achievement lies as we move forward through time and learn more and advance and have more advanced technologies. It's not for me to answer the question. It's for me to say, I don't know what the answer is, but I care enough to know the lay of the land. I care enough to hear the arguments about the ancient wisdom. I care enough to hear about the intelligence of leaving superstition behind and moving into the future. But even there, we see that even in the desire to move forward into the future, we see, even if it's only on this planet, we see that energy, that strive, that drive to do and create something that seems to be almost instinctual, that life moves forward automatically as the individuals experiencing life yell out and scream at God and say, this existence is suffering. What is this madness called life? Even the animals churning and prey and predator and attack and defend and fear and consternation and constipation and the runs and eye pain and gout and the teeth are falling out and the baby dies in the crib. All of this, and yet still, sometimes involuntarily, sometimes just knowing the gnosis that life itself is the good. The Thoth Tarot deck is intimately tied to the Kabbalah. Everything is, but in Tarot, but especially in the Thoth Tarot deck. And so 9 is this number before. It's the energy of the suit right before it hits planet Earth. It's the penultimate expression of the energy, and in that way, the energy of the suit onto itself. Before it's like the baby's floating. I always analyze 9 going to 10 is in the tarot cards, and this is not original. This is me describing how I understand the tree of life and all that jazz. It's just jazz. They make it up as they go along. Honestly, they do. There's no difference between Aleister Crowley and Eliphas Levi and any of these guys and the people you see channeling stuff and making up stuff today. I'm convinced more and more of that every day. We're all just doing the same thing that we've always done with better technology. That's essentially what's happening. We've got distribution networks are kicked up a notch. That's it. The baby floating in the amniotic fluid is wholly onto itself, preserved onto itself, its own world onto itself. Wholly satisfied, wholly taken care of. And we can imagine the different 9s of the different suits in that position, and we can see it that way, right? The 9 of Wands, it's all its power, all its glory, all its wonder, and it's floating there. All the potentiality in the world, and none of the pain, none of the heartbreak, none of the challenge, but the water breaks, the baby pops out of the vagina, and holy shit, it's fucking freezing out here. And the challenge to survive begins. And somebody's slapping me on the ass. And what the fuck are these lights? And my eyes can't focus. And what's the deal? And that's 10. That's your ass hits the ground running. Things can be great. Things can be fantastic. But things can also be, it's reality of life on planet Earth. Not like that reality of life and that energy onto itself. So what is Blueberry Wolf Bridge? I look at this card and I say, it's life. Blueberry, the succulent fruit, grows, containing within it the seed. The attractiveness of the fruit, the wonder of the fruit attracts people to come to it, animals, birds, humans, whoever, to come to it and eat and live. And in that process of eating and living, helping the blueberry exist because it'll spread the seeds. Isn't that a magical thing? That interaction of life energies. How does that work? How does that orchestra come together? Wolf. Oof. Well, primal animal energy. We got plant. We got animal. Bridge. Bridges are often made of stone. We got mineral. But more so than that, it's a bridge onto another plane of existence, another experience, another realm. Possibly. right? Maybe. We ask a question. We pull a card. The system posits that the card provides the answer. And then we, just like working with the cut-ups, we find the answer. Are we right? Are we wrong? Are we learned? Are we expert? Are we mistaken? If someone were to come along and say, I've got a PhD in tarotology, and I can tell you that C.W. Chanter's take on the Nine of Wands was heretical from a thelemic standpoint, nonsensical in regards to traditional conceptions of the Kabbalah, and foolish in execution. I'm wrong, he's right, and vice versa. Ask me no secrets, I'll tell you no lies. Okay. The elephant in the room says, yes, I'm getting all my stolen stuff back. Congratulations. I'm happy that that is happening. Good. May the muscle memory flex through you. May the technology come back alive. Reemsey. I love urban exploration videos. CW explores abandoned miniature golf course or a haunted pottery factory or a haunted Victorian era tuna canning facility. Why they got to be haunted? All I'm saying is, why does CW Chanter have to go to the haunted place? How about this? Let me rewrite the sentence for you. I love urban exploration videos. CW explores abandoned houses of prostitution or a abandoned pornography warehouse or a abandoned luxury mattress facility with aromatherapy candles to boot. See what I'm saying? Why's it got to be haunted? It's been done. Jonaside, CW's new channel, The Pine Barrows and the Jersey Devil, one man search for the truth while chanting. There you go. Reemsey asks, what is a Korb Electribe? Is that a keyboard? Reemsey, talk about 20-year nostalgia loops. Circa 1996, 97, the boom in the popularity of techno music made the producers of the analog keyboards that were the weapons of choice for many techno producers start to take note and want to sell new equipment to this generation of musicians. What would happen in the creation of techno music was these young, some would not even call them musicians, these young DJs, experimenters, artists would want to create this vital new techno house music that they were catching word of and hearing. And because they had not a lot of financial resources, what they would do was they couldn't afford new equipment, new keyboards, new drum machines. So they would favor the old stuff that they could find at flea markets at the time and thrift stores and old music shops, used stores. This was old analog stuff in the 80s, the 80s moving through into the 90s especially. Digital reproduction, perfect digital reproduction of sounds was like what the keyboards manufacturers thought people wanted, and they abandoned a lot of the weird electronic type sounds that these old school machines could make. But it was those particular sounds that the techno musicians loved. So around 95, 96, the keyboard manufacturers that used to make this old equipment started making a series of new equipment designed to entice this young group of new musicians who weren't raised on keyboards, guitars, playing scales and stuff, but were based on techno music production. So they would come with these things, they were called groove boxes. I have a couple. My favorite ones were the Roland MC series. I have a Roland MC 303, and then I got the upgraded model of the Roland MC 707. Korg, which was a competing company, had their own brand of beatboxes, what I call them groove boxes, that were more specialized. They had a specialized drum one, they had a specialized synthesizer one, and they were specifically designed for dance production. Though, of course, you can use any musical equipment for any music known to man, but they were specifically designed for dance music and to be synced with each other and stuff. So there you go. There's a bizarre answer. The elephant in the room continues the answer. It probably came earlier than my answer. It's a sequencer, Reamsy. It lets you record and program music as you go along. There you go. And there you go. Jasmine Emmerich says 108 reduces to 9, just saying. And also the reason that I noted 108 as the 108th birthday of William Burroughs as being interesting is 108 is a holy number in Hinduism. There's considered to be 108 names of God. Many japa beads traditionally will have 108 beads to count the mantra on, and one what's known as a king bead, which just indicates to you that you're supposed to go back around the other side to do another round. So that was that. Another interesting thing. Mario Heat says a Blueberry Wolf Bridge is a cosmic portal. Got it. Sometimes when you pull the 9 of Wands and you make that interpretation, sometimes a Blueberry Wolf Bridge is a rude sexual position that can only be done by definition in Sheboygan. I'm hitting Sheboygan a lot lately, I noticed. Talking about how life gets everywhere, genetic panspermia, perchance the suit of wands is nothing more than a symbolic representation of the subconscious and energy of panspermia that we all know is what permeates through the universe. But then that doesn't really, in my mind, abdicate or, falsify the tarot so much as be like, well, if it's like that, then it's really like there's the energy of life moving out through the universe. There you go. There you go. We say hello to Lisa Rhoda Gray. We say hello to Jasmine. Tim Frey, if I didn't already say that. Jasmine Emmerich says, has anyone done the numerology on Blueberry Wolf Bridge? I haven't. Here's Reamsy helping us with our Kabbalah. Says 9 is the foundation Yesod, right before Malkuth, number 10. Lisa Rudder Gray says tarot is always on my to learn list. I've worked with runes for 20 plus years. Interesting. Very cool. Tim Frey, evolution. The bridge from a berry to a doggy. Ain't it the truth? Jonathan, the tarot portion of the program where I feel I absorb the most information. There you go. Beautiful. Here's Reamsy. Yes, you should definitely explore a haunted pornography warehouse. You got the haunted back in. You see, you're trying to Dr. Know me. What's up with Reamsy tonight? Why are you always trying to get me in the haunted place? I said abandoned. Why do you keep on adding in haunted? I don't want to go to the haunted place. How about that? I especially don't want to go to the haunted pornography warehouse because that would be I feel like that would be like a sad haunting. Or I'd get there like all prepared to be like, I'm going to tough it out. Here I am in the haunted pornography warehouse. And then I go in and I go like, oh, I get it. It's haunted by broken dreams and lost opportunities. It's a metaphor. And everybody knows I was really jazzed to get into this place. It's cold. It sounded like a fun idea. And they turn on the lights off. Well, that's just great. Here with my night vision goggles. I'm not really into ladies that are green, is all I'm saying. Anywho, I got jokes. All right, welcome back from the honeymoon, Alon. Welcome back from the honeymoon. There you go. Now look at this. Reamsy, hold on while I get my monocle so I can do this monologue justice. Who died and made UCW chanter hashtag no new music? Here's Reemsy. Phooey. Most of that techno music was just falderall. Lots of emasculated disco patterns. Wow, Jesus. A load of codswapple. What? Let's not say things we can't take back when you listen to it. Listen, some of that stuff doesn't age well. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much. Absolutely. So here's the elephant in the room with the I love you, but you just won the oh, don't ask me what kind of music I make. Don't do that to me. Don't make me put myself in the box. But look, this could sound bad, but I'll give it to you. Reemsy, I create really cool stuff with it, like ethnotronica, rhythmic noise, awesome, textured soundscapes. They can be used for almost everything. Absolutely, it's not the tool; it's what you do with it. My favorite thing to do with the MC303, since I shortly after I got it, was to do anything with it except dance beats. You know, it's designed for one thing and one thing only, to make dance music. And my thing about it is, how do we do it to not make dance music? And it's very easy. It drones beautifully. It's there's a ton of things to do. There you go. Mario Heat says one more question. What the toll required to cross the Wolfberry Bridge? Who knows? You'll find out when you get there. There you go. Here's Rimsky starting to fight. The elephant in the room. CW said there's no new music, so you may as well not make any cool music because it does not really exist. Oh, it exists. It's just not new, but it's all folk music. What I'm saying is that when I say that there's no new music, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm saying that the music that we create is from, by definition at this point, from within with established realms. Once noise music as a genre is established, once people are listening to noise, that extremity has been claimed. You can do different things in noise, but the one thing you can't do is create a revolutionary act of I created this music with which ignores harmony and melody and traditional concepts of rhythm. That's been done. You may have a particular example of that, but the one thing that it's not is not new music. Rhythmic noise has been established as a genre. We can have more rhythmic noise. We can have more drum and bass. We can have more variations on drum and bass, drill and bass, glitch and pop, whatever. But even all those things, it's all been done. That's my thing. But I don't want to start a hashtag no new music fight at the 48-minute mark. At the 48-minute mark, we're going to start closing down. We've done the cut up. We've went through it. I don't want to turn it into a total thing. There you go. And I certainly don't want to start any fights. I certainly don't want to start any fights with anyone except on me. Did you just shout out Zach and Cody Reemsy? We can't. I can't. I would highlight that. Anyway. Big Badaboom. I am not sure if I can see you anymore. What? Oh, it's a shame. Reemsy. Well, we have only 7 tones and 5 semitones in the Western scale, so eventually things are going to sound the same. As good an explanation as any. Folks, the YouTube analytics tell me that not many people watch past the 35-minute mark anyway. So we're on borrowed time. We were born here on borrowed time. The romance continues. The adventure continues. You'll never lose CW Chanter, but this channel may become too burdensome for me to want to deal with. It's 6 years of the frozen past. You know what I mean? It's just weird. I don't know. But I think this way sometimes, but then I decide against it. But it is what it is. It becomes tiresome. Anyway, which just means that you need to work doubly hard on making sure that you follow me on all social media and you subscribe to all my alt channels so that you can be prepared for Jesus. This channel doesn't exist anymore. There you go. Tim Frey says the best parts start after 35 minutes. There you go. It's true. Possibly. For some, it's all about perspective and perception, but I'm getting started later. I'm trying to make these streams happen. I'm trying to do my best to not just say, forget it, it's too late. We'll get them tomorrow. We'll do it the next day. I'm trying to come to this space and be in the space and have this space be here and exist. But as we get late, it's there you go. I don't want to I can't just go on for the sake of going on. And what ends up happening sometimes to me is I'm ready to cut, I'm ready to go, and then someone will be like, keep going. I just got here. Oh man. A card for this stream. Oof. Well, we had good times with the Nine of Wands, and then we have sad times with the Seven of Cups, named in this deck Debauch. You stayed too long at the party, and then the party ended up staying too long on your face. The image says it all. If 9 is the energy of the suit right before the baby is born, 7 in the Kabbalahs is very interesting to me, because in the holy books from which the Kabbalistic tradition comes, 7 is considered a very beautiful, powerful, wonderful number associated with God. But in the Kabbalistic tree of life, 7 is a kind of a douched out number. It's uneven, and the energy, it's like it's powerful enough because it's big enough and it's high enough in the kind of the heavens where on its level, but it's far from playing with a full deck. I consider it the number of the anthropomorphic God, Yahweh, Zeus, the personified God, the God who is, you're going to do it my way or there's going to be hell to pay. You're going to get a lightning bolt up your ass or you're going to be punished. And, cups is the suit of emotion. So 7, the number is too big. The emotions are too great, right? It started off as a great idea. You know what? If he's going to leave me, if she's going to leave me, well, then I'll just go out and have a fine old time by myself. And before you know it, it was a fine old time. It was a great old time. It was a humdinger. And then it was you crying in your soup, right? As the final embarrassed guest leaves the house party that all went to shit. Aleister Crowley, even by this point in his career, when he was working with Lady Frida Harris to create these cards, was a heroin addict. It's impossible for me to look at this card and the descriptions that he provides for it and the text that he's provided for it in various places, including but not limited to his own book on the Thoth Tarot deck, and see addiction, to see that which is attractive, but that which has pulled you in too far. Now, we can wax philosophic about the card, but then at a certain point, the rubber has to hit the road. And we say, well, okay, but this is a card presumably pulled for this stream. Well, what does it mean? Well, I don't know what it means. I know that William S. Burroughs was a heroin addict as well, in addition to being a practicing magician in the school of Aleister Crowley. So perchance that energy is there. Did we mention that it was William S. Burroughs' birthday weekend? And here we are on a Monday. Well, if reputations are to be believed, we could imagine that the old man's 108th birthday, if it's occurring anywhere, may even entail a little bit of hangover upkeep, even on the astral metaphysical plane. Perchance. It may also be a warning to say, we were talking about stopping the cut ups or feeling like the cut ups were getting us to a strange place. You make that analysis and then you pull this card. What is attracting us to keep on working with the cut ups, right? How do people end up getting trapped in the mind? How do people end up getting trapped, in the booby trap of the trying to find the ultimate, I don't know, this Eye of Osiris mystical artifact or whatever? You stay too long. Your obsession with trying to achieve the goal leads you to become so obsessed and singularly fixated on it that you don't pay attention to the footsteps behind you or the click click of the mechanism, the booby trap mechanism that you clicked over, you accidentally activated. You don't pay attention to the fact that the sun is setting and the old woman warned you, get out of the dungeon before, whatever you do, you gotta get out of the dungeon before sunset, or the Minotaur will get you. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. There you go. Reamsey. Debauchery can be reasonably expected when one investigates a haunted pornography warehouse. Just saying. That may be the quote of the night. The cut up is in the description box below. Reamsey, that card looks like someone left the cake out in the rain. No, Reamsey, you have no idea. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's insanity. No, you have no fucking idea. Don't even get me started on Richard Harris. No, this is ridiculous. No, it's okay. You have no idea. No, Reamsey. I'm not going to go into it. I can't go into it. I can't go into it because to go into it is to go into intimate details that I cannot go into because it's personal. The line that Reamsey quoted, someone left the cake out in the rain, is from a song called MacArthur Park. Someone left the cake out in the rain. Da 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 da. All that icing dripping down. And it took so long to make it, and they kicked my ass to bake it, and I'll never have that recipe again. It's a ridiculous song, and there's a guy called Richard Harris who did a version of it. A very famous actor, Richard Harris, great actor. He was in the Harry Potter movies at some point, I think. Anyway, I had a surreal experience with a crazy out of nowhere experience with the Richard Harris version of MacArthur Park this weekend. So to have us go through this, end this stream with that card, and then have you say that, considering Richard Harris, I don't know. Don't worry. It is weird. It's crazy. The Elephant in the Room, best song ever. There's all sorts of versions. They got, I think Donna Summer. This is their famous version by Donna Summer, right? Donna Summer did a version too, right? That's a famous version too. Weird, mixed up, crazy stuff. But yeah, someone left the cake out in the rain. But more importantly, what's the real point of the song? There's no doubt that the person is feel that the protagonist, that the narrator of the song is feeling the emotions that they're feeling. But the fact remains, what their thought process can be disputed. It's not a logical, rational point of view. The recipe was lost. It's a recipe for a fucking cake. People know how to make cake. It's not like there's not like a bajillion different cake recipes, I don't think, right? Or maybe there are. I don't know. Chances are they fucking remember the fucking recipe. I think the point of the song is that they don't get it, that they're kind of letting goodness go to waste. Who knows? The recipe was lost. You know what? We'll do this before we go. Hold on. Arthur Park. Arthur Park. The lyrics. Here we go. The lyrics. Here we go. God, there's a lot of lyrics to this fucking song. Jesus Christ. Who wrote this? It was Jimmy Webb, right? Someone said already? Yeah, there you go. Here we go. Spring was never waiting for us, girl. It ran one step ahead. As we followed in the dance between the parked pages and were pressed in love's hot, fevered iron like a striped pair of pants. MacArthur's Park is melting in the dark, all the sweet green icing flowing down. Someone left the cake out in the rain. I don't think that I can take it because it took so long to bake it, and I'll never have that recipe again. Oh no. I recall the yellow cotton dress foaming like a wave on the ground around your knees, the birds like tender babies in your hands, and the old men playing checkers by the trees. MacArthur's Park is melting in the dark, all the sweet green icing flowing down. Like, when's the park become the cake? Someone left the cake out in the rain. There you go. What is this? There will be another song for me, for I will sing it. There will be another dream for me. Someone will bring it. I will drink the wine while it is warm and never let you catch me looking at the sun. What? And after all the loves of my life, you'll still be the one? I don't get it. I will take my life into my hands and I will use it. I will win the worship in their eyes and I will lose it. I will have the things that I desire, and my passion flow like rivers through the sky. And after all the loves of my life, after all the loves of my life, I'll be thinking of you and wondering why. MacArthur's Park is melting in the dark. All the sweet green icing flowing down. Someone left the cake out in the rain. I don't think I could take it because it took so long to bake it, and I'll never have that recipe again. That song makes no sense. That song makes no sense. I mean, it makes sense in one way, in the sense that it makes sense, but in another sense, it makes no sense at all. The attachment to the recipe was intense, to say the least. I don't think the attachment to the recipe can be said to be healthy. Reamsey, all baking attempts result in feelings of despair, hopelessness, loss, and a reduction of self-worth. The less popular lyrics. Never have that recipe again. Now I feel like I should deconstruct this lyric poem. Yeah, do it on your own time, sister. I don't have any more time for MacArthur Park. There you go. One more cut up of that song needs to be cut up now. There you go. We'll cut up MacArthur Park. That's it. Then we're out. And then it'll be like MacArthur Park. We'll cut it up. And the last line will be like, you got to do another cut up for the last revelation. Oh, fuck. Now we got to do this one again. And it'll be one more. You son of a. But this week's cut up, I think, is interesting. I'll look at it. What I do with the cut ups is this: what you get out of it is what you put into it. And people might have no desire to put anything into it, and that's fair and reasonable. We can know that we did something for William on his birthday weekend. We know that we managed not to whiff. Not that it would have been the end of the world, not that it would matter, not that the high heavens are going to cry when we eventually stop doing these cut up experiments on the regular. I feel like everything we do on this channel, we do for a while, right? We do for a while. And then we seem to move on and we enter into a phase of, I don't know, we make these random streams and we're not really talking about anything. And then another topic comes up and we do that for a while. And then we do something else. You know, we just keep dancing from point to point. I reflect more and more when I think about what it is I truly think about living a good life and what I think would be the most effective things to do, what I should do. It has realms in the philosophic, but it comes down to earth because we have to live lives. So I would think, sometimes, this Commonwealth chanting thing is the most important thing I've done. It's the greatest thing that I've done. It's the achievement. It's the thing that I was here to do. And I gotta make it happen. I gotta promote it. I have an obligation. I should do this. I'm not doing enough for it. I should talk about it more. What more is there to say? And then I said, whatever happens with whatever I do on planet Earth, anything that I've done from spoken word to music to you call that music to whatever, to the writing to whatever. I have no vote on whether or not it has any sort of influence beyond my lifetime. And even if it were to, I believe that my experiential reality of this existence will end when my experiential reality of this existence ends, when I die. Therefore, it's irrelevant to me. Maybe there would be some satisfaction of knowing on my deathbed that something would live on from beyond me. But even then, that revelation or that experience or that gnosis or that feeling would be with me only for the last remaining moments that I was actually on this mortal coil. Doesn't really matter much. And where I'm going with this is that there were times where my thoughts about this channel and maintaining this channel and doing YouTube and everything and working in this internet wide open space versus trying to work with reading tarot cards on a street corner on a milk crate or whatever was predicated on this notion of feeling like that I had to use my time to desperately ensure that that an impact was made, or that people would remember me, or I would something like this. And I no longer think that that's the case, or I'm starting to believe that that's not the case. So it's not that I have any desire to stop making YouTube videos or to stop making internet content, or that I don't want to participate in the marketplace of ideas. I do intend to and want to. It's that, this main channel was the first YouTube channel I ever did. And I started over 6 years ago. When I started, by definition, I had no idea what YouTube was or how it worked. Hold on. But so you end up living by doing, and you end up making mistakes along the way. And now I'm at this point now where with this main channel, there have been so many times where I've been reevaluated, evaluated, turned it on, turned it off, set videos to private, set videos to public, and have long since lost the memory of what many of these videos were actually about, or the material that they contained, or the verbiage that they contained. I mean, look how much trouble Joe Rogan is currently getting in over one use of the N word. You know that my videos are full of expletives and wild descriptions of all sorts of tantalizing, insane stuff. Even this video itself. There's a lot of reasons to believe for me continuously that I have to keep on returning to this question of what's the value of this channel, or why here? Your why now, what's going on? And there was a point where you're fighting for the 5,000 subscribers to hold on to them. And then there's a point where you start saying, like, gosh, you know what I mean? Like, it's a blessing and a curse. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like 5,000 subscribers are that much. It is what it is. And I keep on talking about this stuff, and I'll probably never go away. And I'll probably always maintain this channel in some capacity, even though the YouTube could probably take the channel down. Who knows? Nothing lasts forever anyway, right? It's like the Buddha taught, right? All possessions are fleeting, even digital possessions. Because even if the possession, the ones and zeros, maintain their continuity and their security on some cold drive somewhere, one day you'll be gone. You know what I mean? Your ability to experience it and collect that experience as part of your collective you will be gone, Anyway, I don't mean to be morose on a Monday. I do not mean to be morose on a Monday. Thank you. Mario says, I value your existence, brother, wherever it may lead. It'll lead. I'm not talking, remember, whenever I talk about these things, I'm never talking about like shuffling off. I'm talking about whether this YouTube channel itself, it's energy. It's all this, it's just this burdensome energy sometimes that I'd just rather be like, start anew. Forget it all. You know what I mean? Start anew. The 5,000 subscribers, the majority of those people haven't shown up and watched the video in a bajillion years, right? The only people that show up to watch my videos are you guys, and you probably show up to wherever new place I go anyway. It is. I don't mean to sound morose. Sometimes I know I can hear my voice and I can say to myself, I don't want people to think that, that this is like ultra depressing. It's just not all existential explorations involve, jumping up and down and being elated. But there's plenty of that in my life. You know what I mean? I'm grateful. We've got a lot going on. Life is beautiful. Life is good. It's just that the size of the channel and the amount of content on the channel, that frozen energy there, just sometimes can be a pain in my ass. So anyway, I'll talk to you soon, okay? I love you. I love you. I love you. If nobody told you they loved you today, somebody just did. That's somebody, CW Chanter. Make of it what you will, because you will, okay? Until next time, brothers and sisters. Until next time. I'm never going away. I'm talking about this channel. So make sure you follow me on other social media. So when I tell you I'm doing a different channel, you can come to that other channel. I'll never listen. Believe you me, I have no desire to go anywhere. I like being here. I love you guys. Have no fears.